Today, more than 100 uncontacted tribes are known across the Amazon. To modern society, living as they do seems almost unimaginable, with our reliance on comforts that would have seemed miraculous to our ancestors. Yet, many groups still live as their forefathers did thousands of years ago, demonstrating survival abilities that stretch the limits of what's considered humanly possible. On his podcast, Joe Rogan frequently discusses the incredible lives of these tribes, who seem to defy the very laws of nature. Here, we'll explore the lives of some of these remarkable groups. Located in the southwestern region of Papua, Indonesia, the Asmat people are known for their artistic traditions and unique way of life. They live in swampy lowlands, dependent on dense forests and rivers for their survival. With a lifestyle rooted in fishing, hunting, and gathering, the Asmat are deeply connected to their environment, which provides not only sustenance but also spiritual meaning. Their craftsmanship, particularly in wood carving, is world-renowned. The iconic poles they create are towering sculptures with spiritual significance, believed to channel ancestral spirits and offer protection. Each carved detail tells stories of their ancestors, battles, and heroic feats. The Asmat society is organized into clans, each led by individuals who earn authority through acts of bravery and provision. In past centuries, headhunting and cannibalism were significant cultural practices, seen as ways to honor ancestors and ensure community prosperity, although these practices have largely ceased due to external influences. The Hadza tribe of Tanzania, one of the last hunter-gatherer groups, continues a way of life that has endured for thousands of years. Without modern tools or technology, they depend entirely on the land, demonstrating resourcefulness and survival skills that defy modern expectations. In an episode of guest David Cho described the Hadza's remarkable hunting techniques. Their skill in crafting and using handmade arrows, tipped with a toxic plant to increase effectiveness, enables them to hunt large game like baboons. The Hadza's physical fitness, a byproduct of their rigorous lifestyle, is evident even in the children, who appear strong and muscular. Notably, Hadza tribe members consume honey directly from honeycombs in the wild, seemingly immune to bee stings due to possible desensitization from early exposure. These communities reveal incredible adaptability and resilience, living close to nature and embracing a way of life that, to many, feels almost superhuman. Over generations, the Hadza people have developed a fascinating symbiotic relationship with a specific bird species known as the greater honey guide. By using bird calls to communicate, the Hadza can lead these birds to honeycombs, and in return, they leave behind beeswax for the honey guides to consume. This remarkable interaction exemplifies human-wildlife cooperation. The Hadza diet is unconventional, as they consume raw animals, including snakes and bush babies, which most people would find unthinkable today. Scientists theorize that the Hadza may possess unique gut microbes that enable them to safely digest these foods, suggesting a microbiome composition unlike any other in the world. Despite scientific curiosity, many aspects of the Hadza's lifestyle, their robust health without modern interventions, and their profound connection with nature remain a mystery, challenging our understanding of human biology and adaptation. Not far from the Hadza, the Yanomami tribe thrives in the vast rainforests and mountainous regions of northern Brazil and southern Venezuela. Their territory, encompassing hundreds of villages, is among the most isolated and untouched parts of the Amazon. The Yanomami rely on hunting, fishing, gathering, and shifting agriculture to sustain their communities. Their communal dwellings, known as are impressive circular homes constructed from local materials such as wood, vines, and palm leaves. These structures serve as social and cultural hubs where villagers gather for ceremonies and daily activities. The Yanomami maintain an egalitarian social structure, with decisions made collectively and leadership based on influence rather than power. While women may be excluded from formal decision-making, they play a crucial role in daily sustenance, contributing to gardening, food preparation, and childcare. The Yanomami worldview includes a complex belief in spirits inhabiting the forest, animals, and elements of nature which actively influence their lives. Shamans, who act as intermediaries between the physical and spiritual worlds, utilize hallucinogenic plants to seek guidance, protection, and healing. However, the Yanomami way of life faces severe threats from illegal gold mining, which contaminates rivers and disrupts their environment. In response, numerous indigenous rights organizations and international bodies have rallied to support the Yanomamis' struggle for survival, highlighting their enduring connection to the land and their profound spiritual traditions. Similarly, the Maasai tribe of Kenya and Tanzania has managed to maintain its traditional lifestyle despite the encroachment of modern civilization. Rooted in customs and rituals that have largely remained unchanged for centuries, the Maasai people have a deep connection with cattle, which play a pivotal role in their daily lives, economy, and social status. Cattle serve not only as a food source but also as a measure of wealth. A Maasai man's status is traditionally calculated by the number of cattle he owns, along with his wives and children. A man without cattle is considered impoverished regardless of his other possessions. Cattle are integral to their diet, providing milk, meat, and even blood, a vital tradition for the Maasai. They employ a technique that involves puncturing the cow's jugular vein with a sharpened arrow, allowing blood to flow out while mixing it with milk to create a nutrient-rich drink consumed during ceremonies and as part of their regular diet. The preparation and distribution of beef during communal feasts are steeped in cultural significance, with strict social codes determining how different parts of the cow are shared based on age, gender, and social status. Among the Maasai, one of the most striking cultural practices is the traditional jumping dance known as, which serves as a vibrant expression of their identity and community spirit. The holds a rich cultural heritage steeped in traditional practices that have been preserved over centuries. Among the most notable is their impressive jumping dance, known as, which serves as a display of physical prowess and acts as a rite of passage for young warriors. These men showcase their stamina and strength by competing to see who can jump the highest without bending their knees. Historically, Maasai warriors were renowned for their lion hunting skills, a practice symbolizing courage and a significant rite of passage into adulthood. Although lion hunting is now illegal in Kenya and Tanzania due to conservation efforts, it once stood as a highly respected tradition that demonstrated a warrior's bravery and ability to protect the community. Even today, the Maasai maintain their identity as fierce guardians of their land and cattle, prepared to defend their herds against any threats from the wild. In stark contrast, the residing on North Sentinel Island in the Andaman and Nicobar archipelago of India exemplifies isolation. For thousands of years, this small, forest-covered island has served as both their home and a natural fortress, effectively shielding them from the outside world. The Sentinelese fiercely resist all attempts at contact with outsiders, reflecting their desire to maintain their ancestral way of life unaltered by modernity. As hunter-gatherers, they rely entirely on the land and sea for sustenance, using simple yet highly efficient tools crafted from local materials. Their diet primarily consists of wild game, fish, and gathered plants sourced from the dense forests and coastal waters surrounding them. Attempts to reach out to the Sentinelese have often been met with fierce resistance, as they greet intruders with a volley of arrows and spears. This hostility is a deliberate defense of their way of life against perceived threats. Recognizing their determination to remain isolated, the Indian government has enforced strict regulations prohibiting any approach to the island. However, in 2018, an American missionary attempted to make contact and faced horrific consequences, further solidifying the Sentinelese wish to remain undisturbed. Meanwhile, the tribes, particularly those from the highlands, are known for practices that may seem perplexing to modern sensibilities. Cannibalism, while unsettling, is not about hunting others for food. For tribes such as the Korowai or the Dani, it is a ritualistic act tied to their spiritual beliefs. Traditionally, they consume the bodies of deceased community members to honor their loved ones, as allowing a body to decompose and be consumed by worms is deemed disrespectful. By consuming the body themselves, they believe they keep the spirit of the deceased within the community, preventing it from wandering or becoming trapped in an undesirable state. This practice is reserved for specific ceremonial occasions, explaining the absence of diseases commonly associated with cannibalism, such as kuru, a neurodegenerative disorder. Despite waves of modernization, some tribes in Papua continue to adhere to these age-old traditions, maintaining a lifestyle largely disconnected from modern advancements and preserving their cultural identity. Among these tribes, they have carved out a life that blends ancient customs with a cautious acceptance of the modern world. Historically isolated, the Korowai engaged in ritual cannibalism aimed at seeking vengeance against perceived enemies. While this practice has largely faded, the essence of their cultural identity remains intact, centered around their symbiotic relationship with the rainforest. The Korowai gained wider recognition following a chance encounter in 1978 when Dutch missionary Johannes Veldhuizen became one of the first to document their existence. Their ingenious tree houses, which blend seamlessly into the forest environment, are architectural marvels that provide safety from wildlife and rival groups. Constructed entirely from natural materials without modern tools, these elevated structures can reach heights of up to 45 meters. They serve not only as practical solutions but also symbolize the Korowai's deep ties to their ancestral land. Each tree house lasts between 3 to 5 years, marking the passage of time in harmony with the natural cycle of their homes. The social structure of the Korowai tribe is intricate, stratified by age and gender roles. Men and women lead largely separate lives, with boys learning the ways of the forest and household tasks until they reach an age where they are initiated into manhood, marked by the ability to move silently through the dense underbrush. Men serve as primary hunters and protectors, while women focus on foraging and domestic duties. Marriages within the tribe are structured by expectations, with young girls often marrying shortly after maturity, while men must achieve a level of wealth before seeking a bride. Despite their close-knit communities, the Korowai are not without internal conflict. Disputes can arise over accusations of witchcraft, theft, or marital infidelity, with witchcraft accusations being particularly serious and often leading to intense scrutiny. Offenses like adultery can result in severe consequences, including exile or, in extreme cases, death. These currently navigating a delicate balancing act as they transition into the 21st century, striving to maintain the essence of their ancient culture while facing the realities of a world encroaching upon their once secluded lands. While some members have embraced aspects of modern life, such as engaging in trade or interacting with outsiders, the Korowai as a whole remain fiercely protective of their traditions. They find themselves at a crossroads, attempting to hold on to their ancestral legacy while cautiously exploring what the future may bring. If this situation seems peculiar, there are even more fascinating examples down the list. One such example is that the term, pygmies, is commonly used to describe various groups of short-statured indigenous peoples in Central Africa, particularly those in the Congo Basin. These groups, which include the Uti, aka, and Baka, represent distinct communities with unique languages, traditions, and ways of life. Traditionally, they are hunter-gatherers who have thrived in one of the planet's most challenging environments by living in harmony with the forest. Despite their relatively small stature, often averaging around 4 feet 10 inches or less, pygmies exhibit exceptional strength and agility. They utilize handmade tools, bows, nets, and traps to capture a variety of game, a lifestyle that has influenced their physical abilities as well as their social structures, culture, and spiritual beliefs, all closely intertwined with the natural world. Unfortunately, the pygmies of the Congo have faced significant discrimination, marginalization, and even persecution throughout history. One of the darkest aspects of their past involves their victimization by neighboring tribes that practiced cannibalism. These tribes viewed pygmies as easy targets, leading to widespread suffering and reduced populations. Additionally, conflicts such as guerrilla warfare and devastating diseases have further exacerbated their plight. Despite these challenges, the survival of pygmy tribes demonstrates their resilience and adaptability. Many communities have managed to maintain their cultural identity and traditions in the face of encroaching modernity and ongoing threats. Recently, awareness of their situation has increased, leading to efforts to protect their rights and preserve their way of life. The existence of the pygmies continues to challenge conventional scientific understanding of human adaptation and survival, revealing insights into human evolution, diet, and health. Though they may be small in stature, pygmy tribes possess extensive knowledge about the medicinal properties of plants, sustainable hunting practices, and ecological balance, making their remaining numbers a testament to human diversity and adaptability. Another remarkable group is the often referred to as sea gypsies. For countless generations, the Moken have roamed the waters of the Mergui archipelago in Myanmar, embracing a nomadic existence intrinsically linked to the sea. Their home is not a traditional dwelling on land, but rather their distinctive where they are born, grow up, and eventually pass away. This is no exaggeration. The Moken come ashore only briefly during the harsh monsoon season, setting up temporary camps on the coast before returning to the open sea. According to Moken legend, Their ocean-bound lifestyle originated as a divine decree, a punishment from an ancient queen upon her unfaithful husband. Yet, for those who know them, it is clear that the Moken do not perceive their seafaring life as a curse or burden. Instead, they have embraced it with a sense of purpose and belonging that transcends myth. Their connection to the ocean is a bond strengthened by centuries of adaptation and an intimate understanding of the marine environment. This unique relationship has shaped the Moken into exceptional free divers, capable of holding their breath for extended periods and seeing with remarkable clarity underwater, all without any scuba equipment. The adaptation to life on the water is not merely a matter of survival, it is a way of being that defines their identity. They rely on fishing and beachcombing to sustain themselves, gathering sea cucumbers, mollusks, and other treasures from the seabed. Their keen skills in hunting and foraging beneath the waves are matched by their expertise in crafting tools and traps from natural resources around them. The Moken trade the marine products they collect with traders on the mainland, bartering for essential items like rice, petrol, and basic supplies. This exchange represents almost their only interaction with the outside world, allowing them to maintain a lifestyle that remains largely independent and self-sufficient. The social structure of Moken society revolves around extended family groups who travel together in small flotillas led by a family head. These groups navigate the archipelago's waters as a unit, sharing resources and responsibilities. The Moken practice ancestor worship, guided by shamans who play a vital role in their spiritual practices. Through elaborate rituals involving offerings, trances, and dances, they communicate with the spirit world, which they regard as a protector of their sea life. These ceremonies honor their ancestors and strengthen their bond with the forces of nature. In contrast, the who inhabit the remote southwestern region of Ethiopia is a resilient and culturally rich group whose way of life is deeply intertwined with their environment. This rugged landscape, characterized by savannas, riverine forests, and mountainous terrains, shapes their semi-nomadic lifestyle. The Surma are primarily pastoralists, herding cattle, which serve as the cornerstone of their social and economic systems. Cattle influence everything from dietary habits to significant social practices like marriage negotiations, where they play a crucial role in dowries for brides and compensation during disputes. While cattle herding dominates their livelihood, agriculture also provides additional sustenance and stability to their diet. One of the most distinctive aspects of Surma culture is their unique practice of body modification, particularly the use of lip plates by women. This tradition begins at a young age when girls insert small clay discs into their lower lips, gradually replacing them with larger ones over time. These lip plates symbolize beauty, social status, and a young woman's readiness for marriage. In Surma society, the size of the plate often correlates with an individual's social significance and is a mark of her family's honor and her personal resilience. Additionally, the Surma are renowned for their elaborate body art, which involves both painting and scarification using natural pigments derived from local plants and minerals. They adorn their bodies with intricate patterns that reflect their creativity and cultural heritage, with designs holding deep spiritual and symbolic meanings, often representing important life events, protection from evil spirits, or connections to their ancestors. Scarification involves deliberate cuts on the skin, creating raised patterns that signify milestones in one's life journey, such as coming of age or acts of bravery. Socially, the Surma community is structured around a clan-based system organized into age sets that guide social roles and responsibilities. Elders play a pivotal role in leadership, guiding their clans with wisdom and experience. Decisions are made through communal discussions, seeking consensus among clan members. One of the most dynamic traditions among the Surma is a form of ritualized stick fighting. This traditional sport is more than just a physical contest, it is a powerful expression of bravery, strength, and masculinity. Young men engage in these matches to prove their valor, resolve personal disputes, and enhance their status within the community. Donga is as much about individual honor as it is about communal solidarity, settling conflicts and building camaraderie among participants. Despite the pressures of modernization and external influences, the Surma people continue to fiercely preserve their cultural heritage and traditional way of life. If you enjoyed this exploration of unique cultures, consider liking this video, dropping a comment, and subscribing so you don't miss our new uploads. Also, don't miss the unbelievable video you see on your screen right now.